Testing.
Better level, Steve.
This is almost the environment more than
It is
the
really,
Earth,
isn't it?
Have we already publicised it as the Earth?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, but that's fine. The Earth.
Why is it called the Earth?
Well, no, we talked about what? I said, what do you mean? Why is it called the Earth?
You mean why is the Earth called the Earth?
It's just something I never say. I never say Earth. I always say world.
Well, it depends. It's not called the world, is it? Because a world it's relative. Mars is a world. It's the world because it's our world, but there are many worlds, aren't there? You could say the world of something. You couldn't say the Earth of something. The Earth is the name of the planet.
But when do we need that?
What?
When do we need to say the Earth?
When we're referring to the Earth.
When does that ever happen?
Well, for instance, right now, when we're talking about the Earth, being that this is the name of
it's to distinguish it from other planets.
If I was in... I know, but when's that ever going to be a problem for me?
What? Well, it's not all about you.
If I was in a rocket...
Yeah, right, here we go.
I'm sat at the front.
He's got a good seat, yeah.
The pilot goes, Carl, come up here, mate.
And I look in the mirror, and I see...
Mirror in the rocket. Mirror, check, reverse, indicate. Brilliant.
And I see the world, I'd say, look, oh, doesn't the world look magnificent?
You go, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'd say it. I wouldn't say Earth. I wouldn't dream of using the word Earth.
But then you're in a you could say, well, this is our world now for next year. This is our world. This spaceship.
Say no, not really. I'll always be looking back over there. I'm looking at there's our world. There's England. There.
Not anymore, mate. We're moving to Mars. We're going to start a whole new world. Oh, which world are you talking about, Carl? Let's call it the Earth and Mars, like we always have, you dopey cunt. That's the name of this planet we're on.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's not our problem. We're never going to leave it. So it's our world, so leave it as world. It's a bit of information. You don't write so-and-so road, London, England, Earth. You don't need it.
What other words are you annoyed by? Other words are out there you're thinking, oh, why is that there? Because we do not need it.
It's one of them where I come across something. They're not always in my head. It's just... I'm trying to think of something that I've seen recently that's a word.
I'll say some words, Carl. You tell me whether you like them or not. Okay? Yeah? Route.
What sort of route are we talking about?
Good question. What about a pre-planned journey?
No, I don't need it. You just go, which way are you going? I thought you meant beetroot. That's all right.
What, you don't mind beetroot?
Depends what I'm having.
He doesn't mean the food, he means you don't mind the word existing. This is because you have such a limited vocabulary that it annoys you and intimidates you that people are using words, correct words, the correct English language.
Probably. Are you happy with chair? Should we keep chair?
It works. It's fine.
Are you happy with the chair you sit on, or the chair who's in charge of, like, a forum or a meeting? What would we call a bloke who's in charge of a meeting?
Chief.
Chief? Okay, what about, bloke who's in charge, of a group
Native Americans?
Native Americans.
I don't know any. Again, not going to affect my life.
No, but what would you call him? He's a bloke who's in charge of all the Indian...
Seriously, not a problem
yes,
to
but
me.
it's a problem for someone, so
yeah,
you've got to have a word for
Head
it.
chief.
Head chief.
Oh, so he's... that means he's the bloke in charge of people who are in charge of meetings.
That's confusing. I'm confused. I don't know who you're talking about,
confused,
mate.
actually. I'm confused here.
I mean, some words I know you're not happy with. There are certain numbers you're not keen on. What about number 7? Would you get rid of that?
I've heard about that tribe where it is just like they have 3. They say that's all they need in their life. 1, 2, 3.
Really?
Yeah, give us 3 of them. And then, actually, it gives another 2 with them 3. It's all like, just easy.
I love the fact that they're still saying they're talking like that.
Still down the market.
Yeah. We should have a word for this 3 and this 2. Nah, fuck it. I very rarely want 3 then 2. Keep it at 3 then 2. How many do you need now? Just 1 and another one. We'll say 2. Oh yeah, I could say 2, yeah. Do you want one more? If I wanted 3, I'd say 3. Do you want one more? Yeah, go on, give us 3 and 1. As the writer and pioneering ecologist Rachel Carson once wrote, "Those who dwell among the beauties and mysteries of the earth are never alone or weary of life. Earth, third rock from the sun, and the only known planet in the universe to accommodate life, was formed about 5 billion years ago. Extensively covered by saltwater oceans, it supports a myriad of organisms, the most evolved of which is man. Yet how we humans interact with our world could be sowing the seeds of our own destruction. With environmental concerns still high on the political agenda, what is the future of life on Earth? How are we coping with the threat of global warming? And is our newfound ecological concern too little too late?" To discuss the past, present and future of the Earth, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. Oh, look at his round-head, the cat!
Alright.
I've been hit by global warming recently, Rick, a couple of times actually.
Go on.
I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, you know, because of the snow and the rain and all, that's obviously to do with global warming, but it probably is. I was flying out to the States, you know, just hopping over stateside.
Yeah.
And, on the old plane, it was one of those bleak, kind of snowy days recently. And they got us all on the plane. We sat on the runway for 4.5 hours. Right. 4.5 hours while they de-iced the plane. Now, it's good that they de-iced it, but I don't want to be told that the plane needs de-icing. I didn't know planes could get iced in a way that they needed to be de-iced. Sometimes, Rick, if it's a chilly morning, right, got the old car, what I'll do is I'll pop the engine on, okay, let it warm up, pop inside, have another cup of tea, come back out, it's lovely and warm and toasty in there. That's what I'd like to have seen them do with the old plane.
The pilot goes, don't you get on yet, let me run around the block. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But also, when it's up at 30,000 feet, it's like minus 50, 60 degrees.
This must get iced up anyway. So there's not some guy on the wing scraping with one of those little plastic things. You don't see if you've got a window seat.
We got to put in here. We got to put in here for a while. It's iced up.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, but also, I didn't see anyone de-icing, so I don't know how they do it. It's not presumably with, you know, like I sometimes use a CD case if I haven't got one of those scrapers.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I don't know if there was people with, you know, probably with a vinyl record scraping away, but, 4.5 hours to de-ice it. Bunch of people on there whinging and phoning and calling and making me annoyed anyway. Get to, Los Angeles, City of Angels. Famously, you know, glorious weather all year round. That's why people move there. Pissed down with rain the entire time I was there.
I know, you hit the storm. I think I moved out of LA and went to New York the day before it turned horrible, didn't I?
The problem was, I hired a car, right? And I was gonna get a relatively cheap, car. They persuaded me to upgrade to a Mercedes convertible. I thought, yeah, I'll look good driving around LA, you know, and that. Couldn't use the top down, obviously. Every day I'd get in this car, every day it would be pouring with rain. I could hear it splattering on the fabric roof, thinking, I just paid the odds for this. And, you know, every time there'd be a break in this cloud, I would instantly stop and lower this thing and drive around sub-zero temperatures just to have the top down.
I would like to have
even
seen
though it's still cloudy and grim.
Like, you know, at 85 degrees, just whizzing down the freeway at 90 miles an hour, but your glasses would fly off.
They would. This is the problem. That's what I've never really thought. Plus, I lost my sunglasses, so I have to wear a hat in order to keep the sun out of my eyes. And all I had, I thought I need to take it out with me. All I had was a kind of what I like to think is a rather fashionable Justin Timberlake style trilby.
Oh, it's not that hat that makes you look like one of Bill and Ben.
See, I think it makes me look like a like Tom Waits or a sort of 1960s news reporter.
Oh right.
But I
thought Bill and Ben. I thought Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Man.
The problem with it is when I bought it, again, I was suckered into it. A bloke sold it to me, told me he was a street vendor, and he told me I looked amazing in it. I'll be honest. I gave him the cash straight away.
Did you have a game of Find the Lady with him as well?
I'm beginning to wonder if that was part of his sales pattern, and he wasn't just a lovely fellow who's trying to help me out. But yeah, it's not quite big enough, so instead of sort of pulling in tight down by the ears, it sort of sits pork pie-esque on top of my head.
Right.
And it is in danger of flying off. It did fly off into the back seat when I was driving. Luckily, I could stop and pop it back on again. But yeah,
that's great.
It didn't fly off, and you know, you don't want that as you're cruising past a couple of sort of Playboy bunny types in an open-top Cadillac, and you're just grinning to them and your hat flies off.
Or it hits a big Al's Angel on a chopper behind you in the face. He scratches his bike, you stop and you go, it's my hat.
Yeah.
And he goes, is it?
Exactly. What annoyed me was, I was with my mates and we were driving around and we had a bunch of friends and, they said, oh, can you pick up a couple of friends of ours? And we picked them up, a couple of girls. I thought, oh, ding dong, here we are. Good looking girls. They got in the car. Instantly we were going, there's not much leg room. I was thinking, for God's sake, it's a bloody Mercedes! I couldn't even impress them with it. It's costing me fortune. Like, this is a lovely bit of motor, but no, whinging straight away, never met before. First thing they say.